Hi, welcome to Quirky Queen's Journals. My name's Kirsten. So today I am doing an abstract piece on A3 watercolour paper that I had already put gesso on top of. Now, I have a Charles Rennie Mackintosh book that is sketches of buildings that he has done in the past. So this is an extremely loose and much poorer version of that than his was. But it was good inspiration. So I'll put a wee photograph of that on. So I am also doing this as part of a challenge. Here is the photo. It's on its side. It was the only way to fit it in the video. That's my sketch. So, like I says, I'm doing this as part of a challenge for a Facebook group that I joined. Now, this is the only art Facebook group I'm in because I really do like doing abstract and I really like mixed media. And I really like this Facebook group because there's such a range. It's really diverse and also it's not just about liking what the group, that does the Facebook group does or about people spamming stuff. It's about people genuinely sharing and not self-promoting in a way that is me, more in an explanation of why they've done something. So it's PM Artist Studio. They make a lot of stencils. They have a lot of people like Eddie Makes Art and Kerry Griffiths. Kerry Creative Designs, I think it is. They have some well-known YouTubers in the art, genre on their in their art group as well. So there is a colour challenge. Every month they do a series of challenges which you can or cannot participate in. It's entirely up to you. But I thought I'm going to do this colour challenge because you have to use dark red and dark green as the prominent colours. But not basically to use it and not have Christmas screaming at you. So this is what I'm trying to do. So I have used phthalo green, naphthalene crimson, black and white acrylic paint, copper acrylic paint and black, white and gold Posca pens. And that's all I've used for this picture. So what I'm doing just now is I'm trying to set the background. So I am using black and white with green and red mixed into them. So initially I thought, let's try and sort of create different values about the picture. But the black's really it's a very strong colour, so I kind of found that I could do very pale, very dark, and somewhere in between. I didn't get much sort of, what's the word? There wasn't much of a range of mid-tones, but that's okay. Just, it's all practice, isn't it? So this started out, although I used the kind of building sketch as a starting point, I knew that it wouldn't stay that way. I did really enjoy doing this though because I really like starting with lines, and what I found was that starting off with a sort of more complex pattern than I normally would to work on was actually, I felt like I progressed a lot faster than I normally would, composition-wise. So this has a lot of layers in it, And I almost feel like I'm placing sort of grids on top of grids doing it. And there's much less variety in this picture than I normally would have. And I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. What I do know is that when you're putting lots of variety in, I think it's easier to cover up mistakes and to think, oh, it's not going anywhere. There wasn't that same feeling of failing that you normally have at some point when you're making a painting. So, yeah, I really enjoyed doing this, and I think that it was nice for a change doing it in a more, doing everything kind of similar. Normally I get out lots of different types of media, and I, how would I put it? And I do lots of different shapes. I do, if I put down a square, well, I'm going to have rounded edges somewhere. I'm going to have raggedy edges. I'm going to have sharp edges. This was very much just sharp squares, really, the whole thing. But then the variety has probably came with the values and the colours. And what's the other thing they talk about to do with colour? Is it chromatography? Where it talks about colour saturation, that's what it is. So how much of the colour is in there and how dark or light it is. That's where the varieties came in this, do you know? I hadn't really thought about it that way, because I will say, usually my colours are they're probably all of a similar saturation. And I know I don't do a lot of variety with values. It tends to be dark or light. But this time, that's where the variety is. Do you know, I never understood that while I was doing it. See, every day's a learning curve. Do you know, that makes me very happy to understand that, because I felt I was being a bit boring. Though I enjoyed it, I found it very relaxing. What I will say though is I do need to work more on my mid-tone values. If I've gained nothing else from this, that's what I've realised. I also liked, that was the other thing. So this painting started off, with the red greys and the green greys. And that as well, I thought was a good way to start the painting, because it was kind of like stripping it back. So anyway, I was telling you about the Facebook group that I had joined, Mixed. I will put a link in the description box. It's run by PM Artist Studio. They primarily make stencils, and I think it's called the Mixed Media Artists group. And PM Artist Studio is a mother-daughter channel, and the mother is called Patricia, the daughter is called Mariah. Patricia is an art teacher and Mariah is a graphic designer. And they're very funny because they do 3 videos a week and they do them as lives, and generally Mariah is mum to Patricia, even though it should be the other way around. It's actually amazing what you can do with just squares and lines, because that's all this is. It's just squares and lines painted layer after layer. Each layer's dried in between. Really adds a lot of depth. It almost makes me feel like, the brutal architecture. It's got that 70s brutal architecture vibe to it. It's like a large block of flats with lots of windows. It's probably the green shades that's given that 70s vibe, actually. It's got that avocado green look to it. Do you know what else is quite amazing to see? The warm greys and the cool greys. Now, the video had went off there. I am using the acrylic inks here. So, basically just drawn lines with a much thinner paintbrush. The green is Phthalo Green High Flow Acrylic by Golden, and the red is Naphthenol Crimson by Liquitex, and that's acrylic ink. So, this is me trying to make the dark green and the dark red the prominent colours. I'm just doing a second coat in the red. Just because I wanted some of it to be going over the top of the green lines, and I felt that the green was very strong in comparison. So I just wanted the red and green to be more balanced together. Part of me wishes I'd left it like, you know, once I've done this second coat, that I'd left it like this. But I didn't, I kept going. So this is a copper acrylic paint with glazing medium, and I am just putting a glaze over the top just to bring it all together. I think the copper works really well with the red and green, actually. So for the colour challenge, it's 2 colours plus a metallic colour and black and white. So I thought I'll go for the copper. It's the least Christmassy metallic colour. So I am drawing in now. This I do regret. I drew in with the white lines because I felt that the glaze maybe was a bit, it took it all back a bit too much. However, I don't know, I feel the white's very dominant. I probably should have put another glaze over this and I didn't. That would have made a difference. So I've coloured in a few of the squares with the green and the red. Just a few of the wee smaller ones. And then I think, do you know, this looks quite tartan-like. And then I remember a video that I'd made with, and I said it's like a tartan teddy. So I thought, right, let's just progress that way. And so what I've done is I've drawn some of my kind of abstract shapes. And then I'm going to paint round the outside. And when I paint round the outside, this is a black Posca pen. When I paint round the outside, I will use white with the copper metallic paint. I do find that metallic paints and the white do work very well together. These are iridescent paints from Sennelier, the metallic paints that I use. And I don't know whether or not that is the same as interference paints. I need to research them more. I don't know enough about it. So this is, I've done quite a lot of these lately. I'm really into this. Doing a kind of solid colour and having some sort of really bizarre shapes in the middle. And I always choose 3. And I also like to do a double line with the Posca pen around them as well. Just, you know, for all I like to think I'm really flamboyant with the abstract art. I do have certain routines I like. So anyway, this I'm you know, I definitely feel that it's definitely looking tartan, and I think that using such a limited palette has, you know, I think it just all goes together really so well. The gold pen, not so much, but I couldn't really use the white because I'd already used the white inside and it was just too similar. But I really like that character on the right with the funny kind of teeth shape at the bottom of it just now. It's on the left now. So that is it. And like I say, I'll leave the link for the previous video that I was talking about, the Facebook group, and for the PM Artist Studio YouTube channel. They do all sorts of mixed media art. They do junk journal stuff as well. They do a lot of jelly plate stuff. You know, they're very, very good. I do like jelly plate channels because the Art Whisperer as well. I love his jelly plate stuff too. Anyway, thank you very much for watching and I hope you enjoyed. And take care and I hope to see you soon. Bye.